that was parked by the stop sign. I told them they need to move on and park somewhere else.
All right, yeah, you got it.
All right. Bye.
But
It was a struggle at first, his muscles protesting against the unfamiliar exertion. But with each repetition, he found himself gaining strength and confidence. Apex watched silently, his digital eyes analyzing Zane's movements. Doing well, Zane. Keep going. As Zane reached the halfway mark, he could feel the burn spreading through his arms and chest. Yet, he refused to give up. He gritted his teeth and pushed through the pain, his mind focused solely on the task at hand. By the time he completed his 100th push-up, Zane was panting and drenched in sweat. But there was a sense of accomplishment coursing through his veins, a feeling of triumph that he had completed the task. See? I told you it was easy, Apex remarked with a hint of amusement in his voice. Zane couldn't help but chuckle despite his exhaustion. Yeah, easy for you to say. You didn't have to do them. True, but I'm here to help you become the best Sentinel you can be, Apex replied. And that means pushing you to your limits. Zane nodded, a newfound determination shining in his eyes. All right, what's next? Apex grinned, a glint of excitement in his tone. Oh, you'll see. But first, let's get you cleaned up. You're going to need all your strength for what comes next. You never told me what would happen if I succeeded in finishing my task, Zane said. Oh, if you fail, you will be penalized. If you succeed, you will be rewarded with skill points or special powers, Apex explained. Oh, so what did I get for this? Zane asked. Let me check, Apex said. Then, a few minutes later, he spoke again. A chance to pick your type. So, what would you like to be? A fighter, mage, or healer? How do I pick? Zane asked. I will set out 3 cards on the system screen, and you pick one. Okay, that's simple enough. I'm ready to pick. Then Apex moved some things on the screen before 3 cards appeared on it. Do you know which is which? Zane asked. Nope, that would be cheating. Zane said as he looked at the 3 cards before picking the one in the middle. Then the card flashed bright before it opened up, and on the card was a strange-looking figure. What did this card mean? Zane asked Apex. Impossible, Apex exclaimed. What is wrong? Zane asked. The card you picked, it's one of the rarest types. What are you going on about? Kindly explain. You know I'm new to all this, Zane said, his curiosity evident in his tone. You picked a triple sentinel type. What does that mean? Zane asked. You don't have to be one type. You can be a fighter, mage, or healer. I knew you were special, but this is just crazy, Apex explained. How rare are we talking about? 1 in a billion, Apex answered. So I'm that 1 in a billion. Yeah, things just got more dangerous. You can't tell anyone about this. You will be a healer while we develop your other sides in secret. Zane's mind raced with a mix of astonishment and apprehension. Being a triple sentinel was not something he had anticipated, and the implications of such a rare designation weighed heavily on him. He understood the gravity of the situation and the need for secrecy, especially given the danger Apex had warned him about. So, I'm a healer then? Zane asked, trying to wrap his head around the newfound revelation. For now, yes, Apex confirmed. We'll work on developing your other abilities in due time, but it's crucial to keep your triple sentinel status under wraps. The fewer who know, the safer you'll be. Zane nodded, absorbing the information. The enormity of his role as sentinel, coupled with the rarity of his type, left him feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. But he was determined to rise to the challenge and fulfill his destiny, whatever it may entail. All right, I understand, Zane said, preparing himself for the journey ahead. What's next? Go and get cleaned up before the nurses come back. They might start asking questions again if they see you in this state, Apex instructed. Zane nodded, heading to the bathroom for a quick shower. Afterward, he rummaged through the closet in the room, finding a new pair of hospital clothes. Once changed, he returned to bed, focusing his attention back on Apex. I'm done, so what's next? Zane asked. We will wait until tomorrow, Apex replied. Why? You said the system gives tasks every day. It's not multiple tasks every day, just one a day for now. And as you level up, They increase in number. Oh? What level am I presently on? Zane inquired. Level 0, almost to level 1. So, you're still weak and pathetic, Apex said in an amused tone. You're enjoying making fun of me a little too much, Zane retorted as he pulled the covers over himself. Apex chuckled softly. Consider it motivation. You'll appreciate it when you're stronger. Zane grunted in response, feeling exhaustion pulling him into slumber. Thoughts of everything that happened from when he woke up till now played in his mind, causing a soft sigh to escape his lips before he surrendered to sleep. Hey, 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 Zane heard someone say, but he ignored the voice, hoping to fall into sleep. Wake up, you idiot. Someone is coming, the familiar voice insisted. Zane tried to recall where he had heard it before, then suddenly felt a sharp jolt through his body, causing him to jump out of bed. What the hell? Zane exclaimed in pain. Good, you're finally awake, Apex said, a frown forming on Zane's face. What did you do that for? Zane asked, annoyance evident in his tone. You didn't wake up, no matter how many times I called you, so I got impatient, Apex explained, showing no remorse. Jerk, Zane muttered under his breath as he took his seat on the edge of the bed. Why were you trying to wake me up anyway? I heard footsteps coming towards your door, and they seemed very powerful, Apex replied. Are you sure you're not glitching and got it wrong? It might just be the nurses. How dare you? I'm an advanced system life form. I don't glitch, Apex retorted, his tone indignant, his virtual pride stung by the suggestion of error made by Zane. Zane raised an eyebrow, an amused expression forming on his face. All right, calm down. You heard someone and you think it's not the nurses? Zane asked. Yes, it is someone far more formidable than a nurse, Apex said. Should we be worried? Zane asked. Always better to be cautious, Apex advised. We don't know who it can be, Zane nodded, a flicker of concern crossing his features. What's the plan then? We will wait and see, Apex replied. If it's nothing, we can ignore it. If it's trouble, we'll try our best to fight it off. All right, Apex. Thanks. Just doing my job, Apex quipped, a hint of warmth underlying his robotic demeanor. They settled into a tense silence, anticipation thick in the air as they waited. Then the door opened. 3 very familiar faces walked into the hospital. I see you're up and about, the familiar voice said as Zane stared at the person in shock, not believing his eyes. How many years had it been since he had seen them? What are you doing here? Zane asked. That's no way to greet your parents, boy, Zane's father said, his disapproval evident in his tone. Family? You're joking, right? You guys aren't my family. You were just 2 people who created me. And when I was good enough, you tossed me away like trash. Zane, Zane's mother tried to say, but Zane cut her off. Don't interrupt me, mother, Zane added. Why are you guys here? We came to see how you're doing, Zane's mother said. Try again. You came here to see if the doctors were telling the truth, and I'd become a sentinel. No, that's not the reason. We came to check on you because we care, Zane, his mother insisted, her voice tinged with guilt. Zane scoffed, his eyes narrowing. Care? After all this time? Don't insult my intelligence, mother. If they didn't call you about my condition, you would never have come to see me. That's not true. We care, Zane, his mother tried to say, but Zane knew they were lying. Please, the only things you care about are your reputation and that son over there. Stop lying. You don't give a damn about me, Zane said as his gaze moved to his brother Nathan, who looked like he didn't want to be here. Look, Zane, we know we haven't been there for you like we should have, but we want to make things right. We want to be a part of your life again. Well, I don't want that. I want you out of my life. I don't need you. I've been doing fine on my own after you abandoned me, Zane said, his hate evident in his tone and eyes as he stared at his family. Stop being so sensitive. How could they take you in? We were all Sentinel, and you were Emberborn trash. It would tarnish our family name, Nathan said, his disdain evident in his tone as he glared at Zane. Nathan, shut up! Can't you see you're just making things worse? Zane's mother yelled, causing him to flinch back a little. No, father, let him talk. At least he is saying the truth, Zane scoffed, his gaze moving between his family. Zane giving you up was the hardest thing I had ever done. But I didn't have a choice, Zane's mother said. You had a choice, mother. If you really wanted me or cared about me like you're saying now, you wouldn't have given me up in the first place. You would have fought to keep me by your side. And if that didn't work, and I was eventually taken from you. You would have come to see me. Zane, please, his mother begged. But you didn't do that. The last time I saw you guys was when I was 10 years old, and you claim that you care about me. Please, I'm not that stupid child that craved your attention anymore. Zane, his father tried to say, but he was interrupted by someone walking into the hospital room. Oh, Zane, I didn't know you had visitors, Dr. Stevens said as his gaze moved to Zane's family. We don't have to play dumb. I know you called them, Zane said as a guilty look crossed Dr. Stevens' face. I apologize if I made you uncomfortable, but I thought they should know about your current condition. Doctor, Steven explained. Well, you should have asked if I wanted them to know in the first place. These people are not my family. They're just strangers, Zane explained. Zane's words hung in the air, tension thickening as his family exchanged uncomfortable glances. Dr. Stevens shuffled awkwardly, caught in the middle of the family drama unfolding before him. I apologize, Zane. I will ask next time, Dr. Stevens began cautiously. But your family came here out of concern for you. They may not have handled things well in the past, but people can change. Dr. Stevens, don't talk about them like you know them. Wait, or did you know my family before, and all this was just an act? Zane asked, and Dr. Stevens avoided his gaze, giving Zane his answer. How do you know them? But no one said anything, causing Zane's anger to rise. I asked a question and expected an answer, his voice slightly raised. He is the family doctor. You're in the family's private hospital, Zane's father replied, and Zane felt sick instantly. He needed to get out of here. He couldn't be indebted to people like them. I see, Zane said as his eyes flashed with anger, his jaw clenched tightly. Dr. Stevens, you said my family changed? After years of silence? After abandoning me when I needed them the most? Now they want to change. What a joke. I don't believe in their sudden change of heart, Doctor. Voice quivering with emotion. Zane, please, give us a chance to make amends. We've realized our mistakes, and we want to rebuild our relationship with you. Zane recoiled from her touch, his expression hardening. You had your chance, and you blew it. I'm not interested in playing happy family now that it's convenient for you. We may not have handled things perfectly, Zane, but we love you. We've regretted our decisions every day since we parted ways. Love isn't just a word you say when it's convenient. It's shown through actions, not empty promises. Nathan is right. You're too sensitive about all this. We made a mistake, but you're acting like a child. You're meant to forgive us. You have no one else to give a damn about you, Zane's father said, finally losing his patience. Now that is the man I know, Zane said as he let out a cold laugh, turning to the doctor. You're here because the results are out, right? Yes, Zane, Dr. Stevens answered. What does it say? You've become Sentinel. It wasn't a fluke, Dr. Stevens replied. Good. Now that it's settled, I want to be discharged. I will fill out a form where it says I went against medical advice, whatever it is. I will sign because I'm not staying here any longer, Zane said as a panicked look washed over Dr. Stevens' face. You can't leave yet. We need to observe you further, Dr. Stevens said, his fear evident in his tone. I don't want to be treated here any longer, so please have me discharged the right way, or I will leave on my own, Zane said. We can't let that happen. Now that you're a Sentinel, you're a danger to yourself and others because you haven't learned to control your powers, Zane's father said. So you're going to keep me here against my will? Isn't that illegal? Zane inquired. We're your family, and we'll just claim you were out of your mind when you woke up, so that's why we didn't allow you to leave, Zane's father added. Do this, and there is no going back, Zane said as he met his father's gaze. You're not leaving, Zane's father said as he turned to the doctor. Make sure you have someone in front of his room all the time. You must not leave this room. Yes, sir, Dr. Stevens said. I'm going to escape. Just watch and see, Father. It's going to be quite funny, Zane said as a mischievous grin formed on his face. He wouldn't let them control him. He would not be a pawn in their hands, Zane thought to himself as he watched all of them leave his room. Apex? Yes? How do we get out of here? Zane asked. Already on it, Apex said as the game screen appeared again. We can use the windows, but it's too high up. I have a teleportation spell, but it risks revealing you're a mage. And finally, we could just fight our way out. Let's avoid unnecessary confrontation if possible, Zane mused, considering their options. Teleportation might be our best bet, despite the risk. Understood, Apex acknowledged, scanning the room for any potential threats or obstacles. I'll initiate the teleportation spell discreetly. Zane nodded, mentally preparing himself for the escape. Do it quickly and quietly. Apex's interface flickered as he initiated the spell, and a subtle shimmer enveloped Zane. In an instant, they vanished from the hospital room, reappearing outside the building. Zane took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air against his skin. You made it, he said with relief, looking around to orient himself. We're clear for now, Apex confirmed, scanning the surroundings for any signs of pursuit. Good, Zane replied, his mind racing with possibilities. Now we need to figure out our next move. We could lay low for a while, to avoid drawing attention to ourselves, Apex suggested. And I know the perfect place, Zane said as he gave the hospital one final glance before he walked away. Where are you going? Apex asked, his confusion evident in his tone as Zane walked into the dark alley leading to his apartment. This place looks like somewhere you could get robbed or, worse, murdered. It's not as bad as it looks, trust me, Zane said in an amused tone, and we're going where no one can find us. Oh? And where is that? My home. Really? That isn't so subtle. Don't your parents know where you live? Apex asked. Those people don't know anything about me. They left me at an orphanage around here and never came back. So, the chances of them knowing where I live are slim. We will be safe there. Don't worry. Are all human parents like that? No, my parents are a different breed. They don't do well with emotions. And I'm not even sure they have them, Zane said. I see. Why did you leave the orphanage? Apex asked. The orphanage was terrible, so by the age of 15, I ran away to make something of myself. But being a kid with no powers couldn't get me much, so I ended up working at a convenience store a few blocks from here. It's a surprise you turned out the way you did, Apex said. I don't understand. I mean, after what you've been through, no one would blame you for wanting to be the villain in your story, Apex explained, as Zane let out a short laugh. That would just prove my parents right that I'm nothing but trash. If I became a villain, it would only give them an excuse for giving me up. So I did my best to be a good person. The odds were against me in a place like this. Well, you turned out well. The percentage of Emberborns that go into crime is 80% compared to those who choose to live a good life and stay away from crime. Thanks. I'm glad to be part of those 20% because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have been able to meet you, Zane said. Well, that might be true, but there was still a chance you would have gotten me even though you were a bad guy, Apex explained. Zane said as he stopped in front of the building. We're here. Welcome to my home. It doesn't look like much, Apex said, his disappointment evident in his tone. It's better than living on the streets. Well, that's true, Apex said as Zane entered the apartment. The receptionist, Jane, was on the phone as always. Hey, Jane, Zane greeted. Then his eyes fell on her, and shock crossed her face. Yo, where have you been? She asked as she hung up her call. I took an impromptu trip, Zane replied, hoping she believed his lie. Oh, but I heard you died, Jane said as she gave Zane a suspicious look. This human woman is rude and talks too much, Apex said, and Zane had to hold himself back from laughing at the statement. Well, as you can see, I'm not dead, Zane said, so if you would excuse me, I would like to go home and rest. Sure, good to see you're not dead. You're one of my good tenants. Thanks, I guess. Zane nodded as he used the elevator to go up to the second floor where his apartment was located. As soon as he got to his apartment, he went to take a shower and change into a new pair of clothes before shifting his focus to Apex. Are you still there? Zane asked. Yes, I was just getting familiar with your world, so I can see how you will progress with your training, Apex explained. So, what did you come up with? Zane asked. There is a school that trains sentinels. Have you heard of it? Apex asked, his curiosity evident in his robotic tone. Yes, there is no one in Avalon that hasn't heard of Oceanside College. It's very famous, Zane explained. Can you get in? Apex asked. Why are you asking that? Do you want me to enroll in Oceanside? Zane asked, his confusion evident in his tone. Yes, their training alongside the one the system will be giving you will help greatly in your development, Apex explained. You know that won't be possible, right? Why? Is it that hard to get in? Apex asked. No, it's not. But we're on the run, so we can't just walk into Oceanside without my parents finding out, unless you can give me a new identity, Zane said. That could be possible, Apex added. What are you talking about? Giving you a new identity? I was just joking. You can't really do that, or can you? Zane asked. I'm already working on it. It was quite easy to get into your half-baked human security system. Honestly, who makes their access code password? Apex said in an amused tone. Stupid humans. Zane chuckled at Apex's remark, impressed by the AI's resourcefulness. Well, if you can really pull it off, that would be amazing, Zane said, a glimmer of hope in his voice. I assure you, it's within my abilities. Consider it done, Apex replied confidently. Wow, when I think you can't surprise me anymore, you do something to surprise me, Zane muttered under his breath. After a few minutes had passed, Apex spoke up again. Your new identity is done. That was fast. Oh, please. It could have been faster if they weren't asking useless questions, Apex said, his irritation evident in his tone. So, what's my new identity? You're the son of a failed entrepreneur. Your name is Darren Lewis, and you're the black sheep of the family. Apex answered, I already created an identity card for you. You just have to go pick it up tomorrow. You're forgetting one thing, Zane said. And what is that, human? Apex asked. My face. I still look like Zane Evans, Zane said in a matter-of-fact tone. That's not a problem. I can fix that with a feature in the system. Why am I not surprised? I should just stop doubting your abilities, Zane said. That would be acceptable. There is a lot I can do that your puny human mind cannot even fathom, Apex said in a smug tone, causing Zane to chuckle at his reaction. Okay, my identity issue has been solved. What about the application fee for the entrance exam? How do we get that kind of money? Because I don't have that amount. Already sorted out, Apex added. How did... You know what? I don't want to know. That's probably for the best, Apex said. So when is the entrance exam? 2 weeks. So we have 2 weeks to get ready? Apex asked. Yes, we have 2 weeks to prepare. That's if they don't move it up, Apex confirmed. Zane nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness at the prospect of entering Oceanside College. What are the stages of the exams? I've only heard of the written part. There are 3 parts of the exam. Written, checking your type, and physical test stage, Apex said as the game screen appeared again. You can handle the writing because it seems you're smart for human standards. Then in the second part, they will check what type you are, whether you're a mage, fighter, or healer. Finally, in the last part, you will be tested to see if you can survive in a real battle. Wow, the first 2 parts sound easy enough, but the third one is the one that might actually give me issues. I don't have battle experience, Zane said, his concern evident in his tone. That's why we will need to focus on your physical training, as well as honing your healing abilities, since we've decided that you will go with being a healer, Apex continued. Don't worry about anything. I created a training program tailored to your needs. What you just need to do is obey me, and we will pass that test. Sounds good, Zane said, feeling a surge of determination. I'm ready when you are. Good, Apex said. Remember, this is just the beginning of your journey as a Sentinel. There will be challenges ahead. Now let's get started. But before they could do anything else, Zane heard a knock on the door. Who might that be? Zane wondered as he moved to check. But Apex stopped him. Don't open that door, Apex said, scanning the doorway. The men at the door are quite dangerous. What do we do? Zane asked. Let me change your face first, Apex said, quickly initiating a facial transformation within the system. Zane felt a strange sensation as his features shifted, morphing into those of a different person. When the transformation was complete, he looked in the mirror and saw a completely new face staring back at him. Whoa, Zane said, marveling at the change. I look like a completely different person. That's the idea, Apex replied. Now, let's see what those men want. Zane approached the door cautiously, his heart pounding with apprehension. He peered through the peephole and saw 2 burly figures standing outside, their expressions stern. What do you want? Zane asked, trying to sound confident. Can you open the door? We would like to speak with you, one of the men said as he took off his glasses. Oh, okay. Give me a minute, Zane said, gathering his bearings before opening the door. What do you need? I don't do drugs. We're not here to sell you drugs. We're looking for someone, one of the men said gruffly. A kid about your age named Zane Evans. Have you seen him around? The lady downstairs said he lived in this apartment. He was definitely going to give Jane a piece of his mind if he survived this. Zane hasn't been around in a while. Jane is partially blind, so if she tells you that she saw him, she was just lying. So you can hold away and not interrupt her call, Zane explained. Who is Zane to you? One of the men asked. A roommate. We both grew up at the orphanage he was left at, Zane replied as the men exchanged a look before one of them spoke again. All right, well, if you do see him, tell him that Mr. Evans, his father, is looking for him. He's got some unfinished business to attend to. Oh, I will tell him that, but I don't think he would be willing to come. He hates his family's guts. Just tell him anyway, one of the men snapped. Okay, Zane said, raising his hands up in surrender. You don't have to be rude. I will tell him if he comes back. With that, the men turned and walked away, their footsteps echoing down the hallway. Zane let out a sigh of relief, grateful that Apex had warned him not to open the door. That was close, he said to Apex. Indeed, Apex replied. It seems that your family knew where you were. We'll need to stay vigilant. They must have hired people to look for me. Now that they know I live here, we can't leave the building as Zane Evans, Zane said. Which means you will have to start getting into your new role as Darren Lewis, Apex commented. But what are we going to do about Jane? Zane asked. You can tell her that your cousin will be staying in your apartment while you go on a trip. That will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. At least Darren can have a place to stay before the entrance exam, Apex explained, and Zane nodded. That's a very good plan, Apex. Good thinking, Zane said. Of course, I'm an advanced life form after all. Don't let it get to your head. Whatever, those men might still be around, so we will wait a few days before we go and inform the rude lady about our plans. That's fine by me. It's been 3 days since Zane's encounter.
Power up your summer fun with the power of choice. Toyota's lineup offers the most electrified hybrid and all-wheel drive choices out there, like the best-selling RAV4 and the super fuel-efficient RAV4 Hybrid.
With the men sent by his father to bring him back to the hospital. He wanted to stay in hiding longer, but he had to go get his new identity card, which was due to be collected 2 days ago, so it couldn't wait any longer. Are you sure the coast is clear? Zane asked as he pushed the door of his apartment open, looking left and right before walking out of the apartment. I already did a scan of the whole building. They have left the vicinity for now, Apex replied as Zane took the elevator down to the first floor. When the elevator door opened, he stepped out and walked towards the reception, where Jane was seated. Hello, Jane, Zane said, causing her gaze to fall on him. What do you want? Jane asked, her annoyance evident in her tone. I just wanted to tell you that I will be traveling, and my cousin Darren will be staying here a while, Zane said as Jane gave him a questioning look. Why are you telling me this? I don't care if you travel or not, Jane said as she glared at him. I'm just informing you in case someone comes looking for me, Zane said, taking every ounce of self-control he had not to snap at him for telling those men he lived here. Okay then, will that be all? Jane inquired in an uninterested tone. Yes, Zane said before Jane walked off to the manager's office. What a rude woman, Apex commented as they were about to walk out of the building. Yes, she is. But shouldn't we change my appearance before we leave the building? Zane asked as Apex hummed in approval. Yes, you're right. I will do it now that the coast is clear, Apex said. And with a flicker of his holographic interface, Apex began altering Zane's appearance, subtly adjusting his features to make him look like Darren Lewis. Once satisfied, Zane glanced at his reflection in a nearby window, nodding in approval. Ready? Apex asked. Zane took a deep breath. Let's go. They stepped out into the bustling city streets. Apex felt Zane's nervousness, so he asked, Are you okay? As his voice broke through Zane's thoughts, Zane forced a smile. Yeah, just nervous, I guess. It's understandable, Apex reassured him. But remember, you look like a different person now, so you're safe. I know, but I have this feeling that something might go wrong, and my family will find me and drag me back to the hospital, Zane explained, his uneasiness evident in his tone. I won't let that happen, so calm yourself. You're making me anxious too, Apex said. I thought robots didn't have feelings, Zane asked in an amused tone. I'm not a robot. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm an advanced system life form. That sounds like a robot, Zane joked. I'm going to ignore you now, stupid human, Apex said, his annoyance evident in his tone as Zane laughed at his reaction. Come on, I'm sorry, I was just teasing you, Zane chuckled, realizing he might have pushed Apex's buttons a bit too far. All right, let's focus on the task at hand, Zane said, trying to steer the conversation back to their mission. Agreed, Apex replied, his tone still slightly curt. I apologize. Please don't be mad. I promise not to do it again, Zane said in an amused tone. I doubt that will be possible, Apex muttered, still annoyed by Zane's teasing. Okay, let's make a deal. If I do it again, you can give me the penalty, Zane offered, hoping that would help Apex stop moping. I find this deal acceptable, Apex said, interest evident in his tone, causing Zane to laugh out loud. As Zane walked through the streets leading to their destination, the town hall where Zane was meant to collect his new ID card, he muttered to himself. I hope this works, as Apex spoke up. Remember, you're Darren Lewis, don't forget, Apex reminded Zane as they entered the building. Of course, how can I? Zane nodded as he gathered his bearings before entering the building. Inside, the air was filled with the murmurs of people waiting in line and the clacking of keyboards as clerks worked behind counters. Zane's gaze scanned the room before he approached the receptionist's desk. As he reached the desk, he saw a young woman with a friendly smile behind it. Good morning, she greeted him. Good morning, Zane replied, doing his best to stay as calm as possible. He couldn't lose his cool and blow his cover, Zane thought to himself as he focused his attention back on the lady. How can I help you today? The receptionist asked, her tone polite and professional as she